From our studio in Kuching, Sarawak, this is TVS Nightline. You're me, Douglas Elliott, and this is our top story. Diplomatic ties between Sarawak and Indonesia will continue to be strengthened in various aspects. In his inaugural courtesy call to the Chief Minister, Indonesia's new Consulate General in Sarawak, Bapak Hermono, said it includes tourism, education and labour. According to Hermono, among the items discussed in his first meeting with Datuk Petinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg at his office was border opening for workers from Indonesia to Sarawak. He said such measures could improve trade relations between Indonesia and Sarawak and contribute to the economy.
Pertama, isu tenaga kerja. Sebab disampaikan banyak perusahaan-perusahaan sawit di wilayah Sarawak ini yang memerlukan tenaga kerja dari Indonesia dan meminta agar dapat dibuka kembali pengiriman tenaga kerja ke Sarawak.
At the same time, Hermono also requested the Sarawak government to increase education opportunities for Indonesian citizens to make it easier for the children of Indonesian workers in Sarawak to receive quality education. In addition, Indonesia and Sarawak will also look at tourism opportunities in developing tourist attractions such as Teluk Melano and Palo.
Menteri Besar mengusulkan kalau ada joint investment to develop tourism destination sebab potensi itu cukup besar. Tapi yang terpenting menurut saya adalah bahwa Indonesia dan Malaysia sebagai negara tetangga, sebagai negeri serumpun terus berkomitmen untuk meningkatkan hubungan yang lebih baik.
Sarawak began administering the booster shots of the COVID-19 vaccine. The inoculation process, which started today, are primarily for high-risk groups such as senior citizens and medical frontliners.
Sarawak Health Department Deputy Director for Public Health, Dr. Rosmawati Arifin, said the booster shot would provide additional protection to the vulnerable, such as those with low immune systems. Thereby, the administration of additional dosage are for individuals who have an inadequate immune response to a series of vaccination or may have decreased over time. Those who fall into the categories can contact the respective clinics in advance to make an appointment. The booster shots would be available at selected government health clinics, private hospitals, and private health clinics. The list of participating healthcare centers will be announced soon. Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin, in his recent visit to Sarawak, announced that Sarawak will be the first state to administer the booster dose program, as it was the first to complete the vaccination program.
And following that, here's everything you need to know about the COVID-19 booster shot administered by the Health Ministry today.
Pfizer vaccine has been approved as a booster dose. To date, approval has been given for vaccines that have similar functions to vaccines that have been given successfully at an early stage. The interval of the third dose is at least 28 days after receiving the second dose, whereas at least 6 months after receiving the second dose for the booster shot. Priority for the administration of the third dose of the COVID-19 vaccine and booster shots are as follows. For third dose, immunocompromised or systemic group with weakened immune system. While for booster shot, senior citizens over 60 years old and medical frontline officers.
With an increase in flight frequencies, airline flight tickets are expected to reduce substantially. State Minister of Transport, Dato Sri Lee Kim Shin, hope that airlines will offer a more reasonable and affordable airfare to the public and travellers.
Kim Shin said his ministry had engaged with Malaysia Aviation Commission and Ministry of Transport Malaysia on September 28, where Ministry of Transport Sarawak had presented the new flight frequency and proposed flight schedule in the meeting. Subsequently, Malaysia Aviation Commission, as the authority, had engaged with all the airline operators on the new flight schedule and taken various factors into consideration such as manpower, aircraft mobilization, and flight connectivity. The new flight frequency and schedule for major airports in Sarawak, which the airlines had proposed and approved by Malaysia Aviation Commission, to date has taken effect on 8 October 2021 onwards. Earlier, the Sarawak Disaster Management Committee (SDMC) decided on 24th of September 2021 that the flight frequency to Sarawak will be gradually increased to support the revival of the economy, especially in the tourism sector.
10 work packages under Phase 1 of the Pan-Borneo Highway project from Sematang to Miri have reached 71% completion as of September. Deputy Works Minister Dr. Arthur Joseph Kurup expressed that just like other government projects, the COVID-19 pandemic has also impacted the construction work progress of the project, which is expected to be completed in September of next year.
Sama seperti projek-projek kerajaan yang lain, wabak COVID-19 telah memberi kesan ke atas kemajuan kerja dan kos pembinaan lebuh raya Pan-Borneo Sarawak, di mana jangkaan siap keseluruhan adalah pada September 2022. Sehubungan dengan itu, pelbagai pelan mitigasi sedang dilaksanakan. Antara lainnya, penyelarasan semula jadual pembinaan dan lanjutan masa atau extension of time (EOT) bagi memastikan kelancaran serta kelangsungan projek ini.
Arthur, who was questioned by Senator Dr. Noing Jeluing on the status of the construction of the LPB project at Dewan Negara today, said the 16.117 billion ringgit worth project, which has 11 work packages and commenced in October 2015, involves the construction of a 786-kilometer stretch of road from Teluk Melano to Miri. He said the Works Ministry would continuously monitor the progress of the project through regular visits and engagement sessions with the contractors and consultants involved. The Teluk Melano to Sematang work package, which was also under the same phase of the project, was completed in January 2019.
And here's an update on the shooting incident involving an army personnel at Kampung Kolong 1 in Sungai Tengah, Jalan Matang this afternoon. The soldier was believed to have shot himself after firing several shots into the air. According to Palawan District Police Chief, Superintendent Abang Zainal Abidin Abang Ahmad, early investigation revealed that the 28-year-old suspect arrived on location to settle dispute. However, in the heat of the argument, the suspect fired several shots with an M4 carbine rifle he brought from the army camp, injuring the suspect's 58-year-old mother-in-law on the left shoulder in the process. She is now admitted to Sarawak General Hospital and is currently in a stable condition. Police are currently investigating the incident and requested members of the public not to speculate anything on the matter until after investigation. An attempt to smuggle themselves into the state were foiled by authorities during the ongoing operation dubbed Op Benteng. 14 Indonesian nationals were arrested by the Malaysian Armed Forces in 3 separate incidents. The 1st Infantry Division headquarters in a statement said the illegal immigrants were detained and ordered to turn back from the Malaysian border, and a police report was lodged for further action.
The first incident took place around 10:05 a.m. on Tuesday, October 12, where 2 individuals aged 39 and 42 tried to sneak their way into Sarawak near the border town of Tebadu. The second held-up occurred at 5 p.m. on the same day, involving 7 individuals aged between 19 and 52 who tried to enter Sarawak via illegal routes near Biawak, Lundu. Meanwhile, the third incident happened on Wednesday, October 13 at 11 a.m., where 5 individuals between the age of 24 and 47, including a female, was caught attempting to enter Sarawak illegally through red routes near Biawak, Lundu. Upon questioning, all 14 suspects failed to present valid documentation and stated that their purpose of entry was to find a job in Malaysia. The Op Benteng initiative will continue to prevent illegal intrusions and cross-border crime activities at all times.
And a businessman was charged in the Magistrates Court in Tawau today for drug trafficking. The man was charged with trafficking more than 300 kilograms of methamphetamine into the country.
No plea was recorded from the businessman, Tai Chi Keong, aged 49, after the charge was read out before the High Court Deputy Registrar Amir Shah Amir Hassan. Tai was charged with trafficking 303.15 kilograms of methamphetamine in Kampung Batu Puyong at 7:30 p.m. last September 6. Amir Shah set November 29 for mention pending the chemist report. The prosecution was conducted by Prosecuting Officer Assistant Superintendent Dayang Nur Azarina Wati Awangkachi, while Tai was unrepresented.
on earth gave you the name Elvis?
Bapak gua lah. Dia dulu suka Elvis.
Oh, bapak lu Siam kan?
Yalah, Bapak Siam. Mak Cina.
Perasaan bosan kehidupan di bandar telah menyebabkan Pak Atan dan Mak Inom berpindah ke kampung. Namun, kegembiraan kehidupan baharu mereka hanyalah sementara akibat pengkhianatan saudara sendiri.
Jaga baik-baik sikit kereta tu.
Itu lembu lah saya.
Adakah kepercayaan akan datang buat kali kedua?
Lagi seekor lembu.
Itu kereta.
Filem pertama arahan Yasmin Ahmad saksikan Rabu, Sabtu ini 9 malam hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan My TV.
Luahan anda didengari tanpa prejudis Spotlight. Adakah tempat untuk pengarah muda dalam industri seni? Adakah cukup hanya dengan bakat ataupun perlu bergantung pada nasib? Pembikin muda antara potensi dan juga realiti. Pastikan anda bersama saya Aula Syari dan juga tetamu-tetamu kita. Bersiaran hari Khamis jam 10.30 malam di TVS dalam Spotlight tanpa prejudis.
Welcome to Take Me to Sarawak, the travel show that takes you on a journey for great food, culture, and meeting interesting people in little-known places. Follow me as I rediscover my homeland. Every Sunday, 7:15 p.m. only on TVS Channel 122 Astro and My TV. Aram, kita rawon!
Welcome back. Sabah has agreed to open its doors and allow interstate travel bound effective November 1st. Its Chief Minister, Dato' Hajiji Noor, said entry to Sabah, including social visits and tourism, are permitted. However, he stated certain conditions that inbound traveller must comply with, such as the 2-dose vaccine shots and COVID-19 screening test through the RT-PCR or RTK antigen 3 days prior to the departure. Teenage travellers aged between 12 and 18, however, must at least receive their first dose of vaccine shots to be allowed entry into Sabah. The Sabah government has also permitted inter-district travels effective 14 October 2021. He added that his administration is satisfied with the state's adult population vaccination percentage, which have already achieved more than 70%. Next week, we'll witness Malaysians fighting COVID-19 on a new battlefield of endemicity with new strategies in place. As more restrictions were lifted and interstate and overseas travel resume, it is of everyone's responsibility to play their roles in ensuring their family safe from COVID-19.
Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah said the onus is on the people to play their roles to keep Keluarga Malaysia safe from COVID-19. Dr. Noor Hisham said that everyone must adapt to these norms and understand that the world will not be the same anymore. He said everyone must have social discipline and social compliance with SOPs. On Sunday, Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob announced that the interstate travel and all local tourism activities would resume from Monday. This is following the country have achieved the 90% of adult population were fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
The retail price of RON 97 petrol will increase by 10 cents per litre to RM2.87 from tomorrow until October 20th. The Ministry of Finance in a statement today said the retail prices for RON 95 and diesel, however, remain unchanged at RM2.05 and RM2.15 per litre respectively until October 20th. Finance stated that the rates were established based on the weekly retail pricing of petroleum products using the automatic pricing mechanism. To safeguard consumers from rising global fuel prices, the government will maintain the RON 95 ceiling price at RM2.05 per litre and the diesel ceiling price at RM2.15 per litre, despite the market price for RON 95 and diesel has risen beyond the existing ceiling rates. The Ministry of Finance expressed that the government would continue to monitor global crude oil price trends and take relevant steps to safeguard the people's continued welfare and well-being. Malaysia is on a trade and investment mission to Europe to expand the country's bilateral economic relations with European economic powerhouses. At the same time, it aims to demonstrate the Malaysian government's business-friendly policies and capabilities in strategic areas such as sustainability, high-end manufacturing, and Industry 4.0.
Ministry of International Trade and Industry, MITI, in a statement said its Minister Dato Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali has arrived in Frankfurt, Germany. MITI said the mission, which takes place from Wednesday, October 13 to October 21st, would also cover France and the UK. The TIM was also aimed to engage with industry leaders as well as prominent European investors to explore future business prospects in Malaysia. The senior minister is expected to meet the Federal Association of Materials Management, Purchasing and Logistics, which has a membership of more than 9,000 logistics players in Germany and Europe. Muhammad Azmin is also scheduled to meet global automotive leaders Porsche and Daimler in Stuttgart, in which the automotive company have made strides in electric vehicle development, befitting Malaysia's direction advance new growth areas that embody environment, social, and governance elements. In 2020, Germany was Malaysia's largest trading partner and second largest source of foreign direct investment among the European Union member states. Within the EU, France was Malaysia's fourth largest trading partner and third largest source of foreign direct investment in 2020. The UK was Malaysia's 18th largest trading partner globally.
The one-stop center for business travelers is a game changer for new business activities and existing ones to expand or diversify their existing operations. Established by the Malaysian Investment Development Authority, or MIDA, the one-year-old center has facilitated 1,120 companies and 2,822 short-term business travelers and collected a total investment value of 121,037 million ringgit.
From the 2,822 evaluations from the STBTs, 2,121 had been approved, while 580 were rejected and 121 were still pending. For long-term business travelers, MIDA has evaluated 18,659 travelers and 90.8% have been approved, while 9.2% have been rejected. Meanwhile, MIDA Deputy Chief Executive Officer Siva Suryamurti Sundara Raja said they would continue to welcome investors to do business in Malaysia amid the pandemic. Established since October 2nd last year, the centre had eased the entry application process and the movement of business travellers in Malaysia. Siva Suryamurti said Malaysia remains steady on the path to economic recovery and growth while balancing between public health and livelihoods.
And in the move to ratify its position in the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, the Malaysia government is currently drafting amendments to its 3 acts that are in line with its obligations. The partnership was signed by 15 ASEAN countries on November 15 last year, and that the agreement will only come into force after at least 6 ASEAN member states and 3 ASEAN dialogue partners ratified the matter.
Of the 15 countries that signed the RCEP, there are 10 ASEAN member states and 5 ASEAN dialogue partners, including Australia, China, South Korea, Japan, and New Zealand. Deputy International Trade and Industry Minister Datuk Lim Ban Hong said the Attorney General's chamber is refining the draft amendments. They are the Patents Act 1983, Copyright Act 1987, and Trademarks Act 2019, which are under the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs. The acts are expected to be tabled in Parliament at year-end. According to Ban Hong, so far China, Japan and Singapore are among the countries that have ratified the RCEP, and the agreement is expected to be effective from January 2022.
Teleport is one of the most expensive. Nobody talks about teleport. It's only recently there's a teleport craze, right?
Orang muda-muda sekarang ni susah sikit nak ambil bagian batu.
Dia minta saya buat chop. Saya kata, kenapa benda ni? Sampai ke besut. Dia kata tak ada orang berani nak buat.
The story of Teleport, the carrier of legacy.
Join me, Ara Bird, as we reveal this fading art only on The Claw Story.
kecemasan boleh saya bantu?
Hello, there's been a motorcycle accident here. Maybe an elephant ran it over?
Sir, there is fire accident at the address number 5 Jalan Tembika Shah Alam.
PGO from FRT Shah Alam, there was no fire accident here, over.
MERS 999. Use it wisely.
Kalau dulu zaman peperangan pemberontakan, clearing ini juga sebagai satu pengumian tempat bersumpah dan sebagai satu pelindung kepada komuniti kita. Ianya diguna kerana ia memudahkan, dia akan menjauhkan tubuh badan dari kepanasan.
Ada dua makhluk, kepala dia berada di bawah, satu kepala dia berada di atas. Berkemungkinan dia cuba untuk bercakap tentang balance.
Saya berharap boleh memberi inspirasi terutamanya kepada komuniti Dayak. Saya ingin memberi kesedaran kepada mereka, tidak banyak yang sebenarnya kaum Iban yang aktif dalam bidang penyiaran. Saya ingin membuka mata, membuka hati mereka bahawa bidang penyiaran, bidang komunikasi ini adalah sesuatu kerjaya juga, seperti bidang-bidang lain.
In sports development, as the national team is aiming to exhibit the same battling spirit against Japan on Thursday after sealing their place to the Thomas Cup quarterfinals by defeating Canada 5-0 last night. Badminton Association of Malaysia BAM coaching director Wong Chun Han said the national shuttlers will continue to fight in the tough tie against the 2018 runners-up in the last Group D match at the Ceres Arena in Aarhus, Denmark.
The former world number one stated that the coaches will devise an appropriate approach for selecting the national team, including whether to keep the pairing of Tokyo Olympics bronze medalists Aaron Chia and So Woo-yik. On paper, Japan, led by world number one Kento Momota, are considered the favorite as they have a lineup of single players like Kanta Tsuneyama, Kenta Nishimoto, and Koki Watanabe. Five-time champions Malaysia are underdogs in this edition as the squad is lined up with young players led by world number 8 Lee Zijia, who is seen to be able to overcome Momota after winning 2 of this year's 3 meetings with him in the All England and Sudirman Cup.
And the World Health Organization, WHO, is awaiting full clinical data on the antiviral pill made by US-based pharmaceuticals Merck & Co. in treating mild to moderate COVID-19 patients.
A WHO spokesperson told media on Tuesday, a day after the company said it had applied for US emergency use authorization.
Indeed, this is an interesting development, and we yet have to see the full data about it. If it holds true, then it is another weapon in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. And let's not forget all the other weapons we have, and it's always important to remind. So drugs and vaccines are important.
The treatment, Molnupiravir, cut the rate of hospitalization and death by 50% in a trial of mild to moderately ill patients who had at least one risk factor for the disease, according to data released this month. Meanwhile, the WHO recommended that immunocompromised people be given an additional dose of COVID-19 vaccine due to their higher risk of breakthrough infections after standard immunization. It also said the additional dose should be offered as part of an extended primary series as these individuals are less likely to respond adequately to vaccination and are at high risk of severe COVID-19 disease. The panel also recommended that people over 60 receive an additional dose of the shots made by Chinese vaccine makers Sinopharm and Sinovac 1 to 3 months after completing their schedule.
And wrapping up Nightline, as 1 Serbian was shot and 6 police officers injured on Wednesday when police fired tear gas to disperse a crowd that became hostile after raids on suspected smugglers in northern Kosovo. A statement said police responded when protesters in Mitrovica used hand grenades and stun grenades against officers. It said 6 police officers were injured. Kosovo police said officers met resistance in Mitrovica, a town ethnically divided between Serbs and Albanians, as they carried out an operation to seize smuggled goods in several towns. Serbian state TV showed people running from tear gas and one vehicle set on fire, as several people were reported to be injured. Zlatan Ilek, the head of the hospital in Mitrovica, said one person was seriously injured and taken to intensive care. Kosovo declared independence from Serbia in 2008, but around 50,000 Serbs who remain in the northern part of the country refused to recognize the Pristina authorities and see Belgrade as their capital. And that's all the time we have for Nightline. You can find the latest news at our website at TVSTVMY or follow us on our social media. I'm Doug Elliott. Thank you and good night.